Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome, guys. There's this notion that some Christians want to say that the Jews believe in some kind of multiplicity in their Godhead. When they try to defend the doctrine of the Trinity, and many people point it out that it's a later development. It was something that was developed over time. They always want to say no. It was always there since the beginning. And when we say okay, the Jews didn't believe it, therefore if Jesus was a Jew, he couldn't have believed in the Trinity. But they was trying to say, some scholars have moved on from that and say, you know what, it's just implicit in the New Testament, and that's what the logical conclusion will be. Fine. Then there are some that are still trying to go back to the Jews and say that some Jews actually believed in some kind of multiplicity. Now, the problem with this view is that the Jews that actually believed in this kind of multiplicity, they're a particular type of Jew. One of them, the most famous of them, okay, is Philo of Alexandria. Now, guess what? What is this Philo of Alexandria? This Philo of Alexandria ended up being one of the most popular, quoted person by the church fathers. Okay, so they quoted his work a lot. Guess what? Because he was talking about exactly what the early Christians, and I'll point this out, the early church fathers, what they were talking about and what Philo of Alexandria was talking about. It's the same thing, because they were using the same philosophy that led Philo of Alexandria to form some kind of multiplicity. It's the same philosophy that the early church fathers, people like Origen of Alexandria, and even Athenagoras, and all those people, they affirmed some kind of multiplicity. However, all of them, not an exception, they thought about it in an hierarchical way of thinking. Meaning, you have the first one, and then the second one is a derivation from the first one, but it's lower, it's hierarchical. Meaning, and what is this philosophy, by the way? Let me just tell you. It's Platonism, okay? Neoplatonism, Middle Platonism. Philo of Alexandria, he was living away from the Jews in Jerusalem, okay? He was living in Alexandria, Egypt, where there's Hellenic philosophy there. And see, it's not even like a polemical thing. It's just a fact. This was the philosophy of the place he was living in, Neoplatonism and Middle Platonism, which is a hierarchical notion of cosmology. They have a cosmology of hierarchy, where there is a hierarchy of beings, starting from the first one, and then you have the intellect, the nous, and all of that. If you just study Neoplatonism or Middle Platonism, you will pretty much understand all what the early church fathers were talking about. Okay, because even them, you find it in the work of Origen of Alexandria, claiming the same thing, that this is hierarchical, meaning the Father is greater than the Son, and the Son is greater than the Holy Spirit, like that. Why? Because you don't understand the philosophy behind what they are saying. That's why you guys think they were talking about something. Now, guess what? It's not just restricted to 3 or 4 or 2. It can be as many as possible. And now, someone even pointed this to me. One of the Christians, we were chatting on YouTube somewhere. He said, "You are saying the Jews don't believe in multiplicity. What about the Kabbalah and stuff like that?" Guess what? What is the Kabbalah? It's Platonism too. Go and study what they believe. It's Platonism. Okay, so, and he said they even have 10. That if you are complaining about the Christians having 3, these guys, they have 10. So I'm just showing you, like, see, the only Jews that believe in multiplicity in God or something like this, and even them, is hierarchical, meaning the first one is the real God. The first one is the real God. The other ones are just derived from the first one. Even all of them, they had Middle Platonism or Neoplatonism. That was their belief. That was the philosophy behind all their theology. So you wouldn't be surprised that they have multiplicity. Of course they do. Okay, so if you're trying to use that as an evidence, it's actually against you, because now you will see, like, the church fathers, you see, like, they derive their theology from Middle Platonism and Neoplatonism, and I've pointed this out, and you just read their works, you just see it all over the place. Okay, so I wanted to make this video to dispel that myth that the Jews believe in multiplicity. Go and check the Jews that believe in multiplicity. Go and check them. Philo of Alexandria was the first person to ever say that the 3 people that came to Abraham, that's like the some kind of Trinity over there. Philo of Alexandria wasn't a Christian. How did you know this? Platonism. Okay, so if you want to use that as evidence, Philo is exegete of the Old Testament. It's pretty much what the church fathers copied, and they just said, you see, even some of the church fathers, early church fathers, people like Justin Martyr and all of those guys, they are saying even the Greeks knew God. They were surprised, like, something must be guiding them. Maybe they have the Logos in them also, because for them to know all these things about the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit and stuff like that, they have some kind of tripersonal stuff going on. That's how could they have known this? If you look at Neoplatonism, they have the one, the nous, and the word soul. And all this tri stuff that is in Middle Platonism and Neoplatonism. Philo of Alexandria was the first person to interpret all those verses. That later on, if you want to quote from the Old Testament, any verse you choose is Philo of Alexandria that started it. Okay, so the Jews that you're talking about, they are not the Orthodox Jews. They are not the normal Jews. Philo of Alexandria was not even living with the Jewish community in Israel or in Jerusalem, that area. It was in Alexandria, in diaspora. So of course he was influenced by that philosophy. So to me, you just need to understand. Just do something for me. Study Middle Platonism, Neoplatonism, and even Stoicism, because you will see what I'm saying. Stoicism and the idea of the Logos penetrating the entire universe. This is what you find in, and even the idea of material stuff. For example, Tertullian, one of the early church fathers, he has the influence of Stoicism in him. So just study their philosophy, then you see how they are thinking. You will not be surprised that what are they talking about. You will get exactly what they are talking about. So I just wanted to share this with you guys. The next time someone tells you this, just show him those Jews that you're talking about, they are not the Orthodox Jews. They are Jews that have been influenced by Neoplatonism and Middle Platonism. And exactly that's how you got. See, even they are Muslim Neoplatonists. They are Muslim Neoplatonists, and you see, they will tell you, see, it's hierarchical. It's never co-equal, co-eternal, all these things that later happen. There's never anything like co-equal, co-eternal stuff if you want to use that philosophy. All you will get is hierarchy of beings. With the first one will be the one. That's what the early church fathers called the Father. And then the next one was emanated from the one. And that one is the second person of the Trinity. And just like that, you explicitly see this. I'll put a quote from Origin of Alexandria for you guys to see exactly how he said this is exactly what's going on. And you will not be confused after this. And if you remember, another tactic of these people is that if you ever ask them who is God here, they will say He is the Father. Okay, even though they can call the other persons as gods or divine, the real God is the Father. Because see, imagine if they thought there's a hierarchy. Okay, there's a hierarchy, and we know God can never have someone above Him. That is the principle. God has no one above Him. No one is greater than God, right? And the Father is greater than I. These people saw it like, of course the Father is greater than the Son, because the Son is lower in the hierarchy than the Father. Therefore, the Father is the real God. If we use that principle, you will see, like, even, and yeah, I just wanted to show, I hope you guys benefit from this video. I don't want to make it too long. I just wanted to show you that next time someone tells you this, you know how to answer it. So see you guys later. Let me see what you think in the comment section. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
الناس يرزقك من حيث لا تحتسب وستتسع عليك بعد الضيق، وهذه قاعدة قرآنية ربانية سماوية. ولذلك أنا أقول لكل مسلم خذ هالبشارة، إذا ضاقت بك الدنيا وادلهمت عليك الظروف والأحوال أظلمت في وجهك مثل ظلام الكهف، فعليك بأن تأوي إلى الله